The United Nations has developed a plan with external interests aimed at supporting the economies of developing countries, and monitored hundreds of millions of dollars in order to enforce them, relying on supporting European countries and the United States and even civil institutions and organizations that are a reservoir of thousands of billions of dollars to participate in the financing process. And stated in a preamble of the document of this plan or the agenda, we are determined to rid mankind of the tyranny of poverty, destitution, healing and securing our planet, and we are determined to take bold and transformational steps necessary to turn the world into a sustainable path, and we start on this collective journey. We pledge that no one will fall behind. Members of the General Assembly agree that this document must be fully applied once arriving for 2030. The frameworks of cooperation are based on four main goals. They must be clearly shown how the United Nations system like a whole intends to help countries meet their national priorities and overcome the obstacles they face in the way of achieving sustainable development goals. The framework of cooperation is a tool to support economic transformation and provide various means for countries to enable them to reform their economic policies and practices on the basis of sustainable development. The aim is to enhance comprehensive, varied and creative economic activities, support the rights and well-being of all citizens, strengthen economies and protect the planet. The cooperation framework must embody the spirit of cooperation that constitutes the essence of the 2030 plan. This requires partnerships not only with the host governments, but also with all stakeholders, including civil society, academic circles, parliaments, the private sector and bilateral partners with the aim of benefiting from everyone's strengths and pushing the transformative change. The cooperation framework must help convert the collective promise of the 2030 plan not to leave anyone behind the knees into concrete procedures for the benefit of the population, especially the most influential people. The United Nations teams will need more than ever to analyze the accurate data in detail without stopping at the rates of national average, with a more focus on promoting integration and processing inequality. The frameworks of cooperation must provide the United Nations teams of the United Nations with the means necessary to adapt their work to the specific national needs and facts, which ensures the contribution of all entities, whether present in the country or not, effectively in implementing the 2030 plan. The side of the seriousness of this matter lies in promoting this document, which is an integrated program as a global demand that acquires the status of public, and not a requirement for the United Nations. The seriousness of this program is evident that it works to alienate societies of conservative values, dissolve the differences between varying values and cultures, and works to unify concepts under the umbrella of globalization and does not respect the privacy of each civilization, and is intended with a Christian religious smell, but rather in many citizens, all religions strike the wall. It works to consolidate Western principles in all its forms, eliminates the legs and mandate of the man, and works on freedom of thought, belief and early independence of the child, the permissibility of homosexuality and the determination of childhood for less under the name of gender, and the adoption of gay rights, but rather address the family as gay parents, gay, and did not give attention to the real motherhood and fatherhood. She encourages the mixing of Muslim women with foreigners, putting obstacles in front of divorce, permits marriage between Muslims and infidels, and codified that the woman can assume the position of minister, prime minister or head of state. In Clause No. 5, it claims that it is acceptable to all the countries and is subject to all of them. It is truly a fierce attack on all heavenly values and religions. Because it puts everyone in one template under the rule of one size fits all, and the matter increases, the treaties, if officially approved, will have priority over local laws, and makes this document realistic, and the countries will have to agree to this document to change their internal laws in line with this document. It was stated in the private charter of the 2030 Agenda that it is not allowed to take into account the reservations, and it seemed as if it was a new legislation binding on the whole world. And when some terms raised the fear and suspicion of the Arab actor to the United Nations or the Arab delegations participating in the meetings and discussions, these terms are removed from the Arabic version, and the version remains in the English language as it is in the original text of the document.